Good morning, Earthlings. We're talking March 4th, 2024. This is my fifth attempt at speaking to you. I just heard an interview with a guy named Jim Willie, who I don't think he can be on YouTube because he says too many C words. So because of that, he's on Rumble, but I can't find the interview. I was in the middle of it, and the thing went off, and I went back, and good old Rumble, you can't figure out how to get to the last video you watched. So anyway, and for some reason the algorithm, when you put in the name Jim Willie, doesn't come up. So the wonders of technology. So I'm going to make this recording instead, so it's even better. So anyway, what Jim Willie says is that the bond market is fracturing. Now, I mean, it sounds like breaking, like a bone, but I don't really know what the bond market fracturing means, but he seems to think that it's, that it's holding up the entire world economy right now, and that if it falls out, which apparently is doing right now, then everything goes to hell in a handbasket, and, what that means is unclear as well. So, anyway, but that's what he's saying. So, and of course on the crypto, I didn't really get a good answer on that. Crypto's up to like $68,000 or something on Bitcoin. And I have a very small amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but, it's doubled in value in the last month, and I'm tempted to use the money to pay 28% interest debt on credit cards, But I bought it originally just with the idea of holding it just like I would gold or silver, and just having it as a alternative way to spend money if if the dollar goes away, or we end up with some sort of electronic glitch in the system, or the power grid goes down. Anyway, that's all on that. There was something else I wanted to talk about, though. Let's see if I can remember what it is. Basically, I know I should be taking notes and all that stuff, but it's just not my thing. I'm just doing this on the fly, and, I'm going through Fiverr to get the thumbnails put up, and hopefully download the audio properly to that. I'm just trying to make it simple because I'm just not a tech savvy person, and there doesn't seem to be. I'm dealing with some guy, he's a very nice guy from India, but it's like we can only chat by written text, so there's that. But hopefully he'll be able to get that going. It should be up, I guess, by tomorrow. We'll see if the first one shows up tomorrow. But anyway, so Fiverr, it's a negotiation type thing, but I'm paying him $50 for one thumbnail and for a still picture, and for him to upload the video or the audio. I don't know if he'll actually adjust the audio. I hope he does, because it might be low in some places. But anyway, so $50 for that, and then I think it was going to be like $20 each time after that. So anyway, well, it took me forever to figure out, because I have this brand thing that I have had for a while, but I didn't really understand it. So I had to go through Google and do all this stuff where you invite him as a manager so he can download on your platform. So hopefully I'll be able to get this set up so it's turnkey. That's my goal, because really all I want to do is talk and not be, having to deal with all this technical stuff. But so we'll see if that happens. I'll keep you posted. So let's see. In other news, I was listening to Benjamin Fulford from the 23rd of February, and he was talking about doubles, meaning, like how politicians, as part of their security now, have doubles. So, and I know Saddam Hussein in Iraq did that, but I just, I didn't know how prevalent it was in our country, but apparently it's very prevalent. The CIA has like really good masks that they can get that can make a person look younger, older, exactly like the person you want them to look like. So it's pretty effective and very hard to tell. I don't know how they would deal with the voice differences, though. That's an interesting one. So I don't know if they find actors that can imitate, or if they actually, maybe they can actually clone. Who knows? I mean, I have no idea. It's possible. I mean, they had that sheep that they did like 50 years ago, so I'm sure that the Defense Advanced Research Project Administration has done that sort of thing before. I should mention, my background is kind of odd. My mom's sister married this guy named Twig Branch. I'm serious, that was his name, Twig Branch. Now, his real name is Irving L. Branch, and, you know, he was the commander of the test flight school at Edwards Air Force Base from 61 to 1966 or 65. And he was good friends with Chuck Yeager, who was the famous guy from the sound barrier breaking. And they were big fishing buddies, and they used to go up on trips to the Sierras. In fact, in Chuck Yeager's biography, he talks about how my uncle's office looked like Field and Stream, and tells a story about how my uncle really liked rainbow trout, so they actually shipped in the fish and game people from another state, I think it's Arizona maybe, and anyway, and sent them up to the Sierras to get a whole bunch of rainbow trout to populate the rainbow trout in the rivers over in Arizona. So anyway, my uncle was obviously involved. He was working on the X-15, and you know, that was a pretty major thing. So unfortunately, you know, he crashed in a T-29 trainer over Puget Sound. It was a big deal at the time, actually. Made national news. And they couldn't find him for like a week, but apparently Chuck Yeager, I thought he was in the water, but apparently he had crashed into a tree in really bad weather near Puget Sound. And so that was reported in Chuck Yeager's book later, his biography. But anyway, so that was my one uncle. The other uncle, Uncle Ken, otherwise known as Bud Mearns, he was in the Defense Intelligence Agency, which I didn't know. And he was also a 3-star general for the Army, West Point grad, great guy. I mean, man, unbelievable. And he went to Vietnam and got shot a couple of times. I mean, he was a great man. But anyway, I visited him when I was 14, and he took me to Italy and through Austria, and I had chicken pox at the time. Go figure. So that was a little bit under the weather, but nevertheless, it was a great experience. But anyway, my point is that, so my Uncle Ken and my Uncle Twig were both like high up, one Air Force, one, Army, and so it was just interesting to be connected to those people. And so I wish I had just been able to talk to my Uncle Twig, especially, actually Uncle Ken too, just to find out what they know. Unfortunately, all that stuff, they pretty much didn't tell me because I was too young and it was probably way classified. But it would have been fun anyway. I'm a true seeker, I like to know what's really going on in this world. And so this is of interest to me. So anyway, I've always had a strong interest in time travel, so I read this book called The Montauk Project by Preston Nichols and somebody else, Peter Moon, and it was an interesting book. And anyway, so I flew Preston out to the Sacramento area for a festival that they were having here for New Age people or whatever, and he had some strange things to tell me, about my possible involvement in some of these projects. So, he was pretty emphatic about it all the way up until his death. So I don't remember being in any of these projects. I did have an odd experience when I was about, and this was around 1981. I had this very intense, I guess what you could call abduction event where, I can't deny what happened. Some sort of weird insectoid creature. Sorry, I know that sounds crazy. I admit it. Some large, about 8 foot tall insectoid creature, looked a little bit like a praying mantis, but without the legs like exactly the same way. But anyway, I know that's crazy. Acting like a doctor and basically checking me out like I'm some sort of a specimen. So I guess it's possible that I've been tracked as some sort of, like see how humans are doing kind of thing, or maybe I'm some sort of project of some science company or something, who knows. But it is interesting. Like I said, I like to look for the truth. Probably nothing, probably just a coincidence that I'd have that many generals in my family and that they would be like that. But, or not. I don't know. I don't know about coincidences, I think we have a lot to do with those sort of things happening. But, anyway, what else? I'm going the wrong way. That's what happens when you talk on the phone and you drive. I'm, having to get off another freeway and go down the other one. Oh boy. Anyway, what else to say? Still got bad weather here. I guess not bad weather, just overcast. I kind of like it, actually. It's cool, not too hot, not raining. Looks like it's gonna rain any minute, but we'll see about that. So, okay, I'm gonna take this one and see if I can get back on the freeway. What else? Is there anything else on my mind? I'm going to pause this for a minute until I think of something to talk about. All right, so I'll pick up here. I'm back on the freeway the right way now. Anyway, so let's talk about this idea, okay? I was listening to this guy today, and he was talking about Goebbels. I guess it was some sort of major Nazi, whatever, Germany type general or whatever. And he was talking about how his famous line, and I guess it was in media, was that, the more times you tell a lie, the more people will believe it. So if you just keep telling the lie over and over and just saying, everybody thinks, oh, it must be true. And so it's one of the chief ways that they propagandize people into believing a narrative. And so that's interesting to me. And anyway, I was listening to some other guy, and I can't keep track of all Council on Foreign Relations and all these different councils that are out there, but this is some sort of national council of something. But he said that they have, on this council, they have 7 ex-CIA directors, okay? And basically this council is like the PR wing for the, the United Nations. And that seems to be the big thing right now. There seems to be a real interest in this globalization project that seems to be going on. I don't know, some people call it 2030, some people think it'll happen in 2025, some people call it 2050, Agenda 2030, all these different things. I have no idea. All I know is that I do see sort of how they're trying to make the World Health Organization and the Council on, or not, the World Health Organization, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, all of these Rothschild-created entities like the United Nations, it is sort of the head of the snake, excuse the pun, but, in the sense that, they pretty much are attempting to run everything and take over the sovereignty of everybody. And I have a problem with that. Sorry. I'm in a republic here, constitutional republic of the United States of America. And so, constitutional republic is not a democracy. It's different. It's better. But basically, we have sovereignty. And we have a document that we uphold, meaning the Constitution. So, anyway, just saying. I know I'm jumping all over the place, and this is probably really boring. Sorry about that. Try to make it interesting. By the way, for what it's worth, I consume marijuana for medicinal purposes, but also, it's a nice taste. Basically, what I do is I just take a large bong and put spring water in the bottom of it, and it has aerators at the bottom. And then I take a very, very what's called a pinner hit, just a small little piece of marijuana, and put it in the little bowl and light it up and fill the bong with smoke, fresh green hit smoke. Tastes very good. It's not carbonated. And then, that means I don't have to take a ibuprofen for the day. I'm 4 weeks out on this hip surgery, and surprisingly, I'm really not in pain at all. So I don't want to take ibuprofen if I don't have to. I don't have to take baby aspirin anymore. That's the two things they have you on, is they do ibuprofen, 600 milligrams, and then they do baby aspirins. You take 2 of those a day just to prevent blood clots. And then they'll give you, tramadol and Percocet, if you're in really bad pain right after the operation. I think I took 1 Percocet and I don't like this. I don't know. I'm just, opioids are addictive. And so, I have really bad experience. I had a friend and business partner in the past who became addicted to oxycodone. And, nothing I could do about it. It was a shame. And so, I've always been very lucky that I haven't had a situation where I had to take a drug because of some sort of addiction. The one that nobody ever talks about, cigarettes. They're the most addicting drug on the market. And why we allow companies to put like 600 things into the cigarette besides the tobacco and the nicotine. It's just horrible. And, I know there are a few out there, Native American cigarettes or something that you can buy that don't have all that stuff in them. But, I have no idea. All I know is that they totally cause addiction. And, I grew up in the family of smokers, so I'm very used to cigarettes. I hate them, especially the secondhand smoke. But, I don't know. It's just a weak thing, Don't get me wrong. I understand people want to do what they want to do. I'll uphold people's right to smoke or do whatever they want with their own body any day. But, it's not something you want to ever start if you can help it. Same way with alcohol. They underrate both alcohol and cigarettes. And people get addicted to both, and both of them are really harmful. But like I said, heck, fentanyl. I heard this stat the other day. 100,000 people a year die from fentanyl overdose in the United States alone. Okay, that's like 2 Vietnams a year, meaning, I think we lost 57,000 people in the Vietnam War. So we're doing that twice a year now with fentanyl. So it's like a silent war on the American people to degrade us. So there's definitely an effort to cull the society, meaning drop the population. And nobody sees that, then they're not looking. You'd have to be asleep at the wheel not to see it. All right, well, enough lecturing for one day. I'm at the gate, and so I'm going to turn it, get the gate open and get in there. And this is my Friday, finally. So have a good one. Remember, try to stay positive. I'll be in touch. Rob out, hopefully, if I can get to the darn screen. There we go. Just want to do a little add-on from what I just talked about, because it just came to my mind, and that is the subject of garbage, okay? I am so tired of picking up trash in front of the store. Every day, people throw cups, cigarette butts they think are okay, right? Because they're biodegradable, right? All the chemicals, yeah, right. And then wrappers. You know, there was even in front of a car bumper was in our driveway today. It's like, it's just crazy to me. People are so inconsiderate about this issue. And I mean, of course, I've actually had to clean up actual human excrement, stools, whatever you want to call them, out of our parking lot several times. So just not good. And but anyway, if we don't clear that stuff out right away, it builds up, and then it seems to get worse. So the appeal of the store improves dramatically when you don't have a bunch of paper flying around. So anyway, there was a beer can out there that wasn't even open, but that had been, somewhat messed up. So I had to open it and pour all the beer out because it was starting to spray. Man, it's crazy stuff. But anyway, I want to get a campaign going like they had in Texas for a while. Don't mess with Texas, I think was their line. But and I thought it was pretty effective. But as far as California is concerned, I don't know why this isn't a priority, because I think Caltrans in California spends like 60 or 70 million dollars a year, which is ridiculous. I had a friend, he used to throw trash out the window of his car. I said, "What are you doing, John? What are you doing?" And this is a guy I worked for at the time, John Campbell. And anyway, he said, "Oh, well, I'm helping give people jobs." And I'm like, "What?" So anyway, I just don't agree with littering. If you use something, clean it up. Don't leave stuff around after. I'm sitting here picking up a piece of bubble gum. It's like, okay, so you threw bubble gum on the ground right in front of the store. Do you have no consideration for other people? Seriously. So anyway, okay, that's my rant for that particular subject, and I'll let you know what we come up with as far as a way to get people picking up their garbage in Northern California, because I don't want to keep picking it up. It is good exercise, don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of gross. So anyway, have a great day. I'm done now. All right.